Welcome to another episode of Dad Up, everyone. Thank you guys very much for joining me. I'm excited for the guest that I have on. He's got a product that'll be helpful to all you parents out there. And I'm excited for him to share it. But my good friend Charlie Sherts has joined me on Dad Up. Welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, cool. I took a look at the product. I think it's awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but before we do that, let's get into a little bit of backstory about you, and then also about your family.
All right. Um, well, I'm a mechanical engineer and a lifelong inventor. I have about 55 patents, and what I do is I naturally just see problems that people have, and I enjoy solving them, whether it be a surgical device or a consumer product. And this exciting invention, the Mozy, was spurred on by my children, and I wouldn't have thought of it if I didn't have children because I go to they're active and I go to their games, and even in the summer when the sun goes down and there's a breeze, it gets chilly, and here in Connecticut, fall and spring, it's freezing. And what I did was notice the problem everyone was having, including myself, is that it was really tough to stay at games if you're fighting freezing weather. Your whole body is shivering. And so what I created was a better blanket. And the Mozy did engineering tests on it, is over 500% warmer than a regular stadium blanket. And I made a little prototype, and my background is in thermodynamics and heat transfer. So I said I knew I could do something better than a stadium blanket. And then, so I started making little prototypes. I learned how to sew, very primitive. I made some little prototypes and I test them. And the people at the games, my friends' parents, loved it, and they wanted one. And I said, well, I just am fooling around right now. And but there was an immediate interest because the whole thing is you really want to stay for your kids' game, but when you're bitter cold, you retreat back to the car and turn the heat on, or you head home and pick the kids up after the game. And what this did was allow me to stay comfortable through my child's games, and I could the one of the benefits of the Mozy is that you can sit and stand and jump and cheer, and it's not going to fall off the way a stadium blanket that you have wrapped around you would. Uh, and it's people loved it so much. I went and got two patents on the product and did thorough testing. I the process of development took about a year. I made 41 different iterations to improve it and make it warmer, and to improve it to make it more comfortable, to improve it to make it look nicer, until I came up with something that I thought was really good. And at that point, I made some prototypes and gave them to friends at games, and the response was overwhelming. And at that point, I said, I think I should just uh, manufacture and market these, and that's where I am.
Huh. Um, how did you get into your background in engineering as far as that goes? What sparked that kind of interest?
Um, it's something I've always tinkered around with things growing up and taking things apart, and my parents said it looks like you'd be a good engineer. And so I went into engineering school, and then what I found was that mechanical engineering is a discipline where you could take ideas and turn them into real products. And and that's what I love doing. And so that's what I've been doing ever since.
Hmm. Oh, that's cool. I think that the Mosey, as you called it, well, how did you come up with that name?
All right, so that's a great story. We looked at the benefits, and what I saw with the main benefits is that it was people use the word cozy all the time,
Uh-huh.
and the benefit is that it's mobile. You can wear it and run in it. You can wear it and walk in it. You can wear it and sit and stand in it. And so we combined those, mobile and cozy, and that's where we got Mozy.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought because as you're talking, I'm like, the Mozy is cozy.
Mozy and cozy. The mobile and cozy makes it a Mozy.
Right.
That's
Okay.
my jingle.
All right. Man, I remember how old are your kids, real quick, before I,
Well, my kids are now 21 and 24.
okay.
So I developed this 5 years ago when they're both in high school,
Okay.
and both had crazy sports schedules. So I was outside at games all the time, and and that's where this really came in handy.
All right. Yeah, my boys are 27, 24, so I was like thinking back to when they were growing up. I coached, their sports and the teams that they were on. I was the coach, but my wife would come and she would sit in the stands. Like when they were growing up, my younger son played baseball all through, up through high school, and sitting in the stands when he was in Little League. Those, I mean, we're in California, so we're much different than Connecticut, but even in the winter time, playing in these games, it get cold at night. Like you said, it gets chilly at night, or the early Saturday morning games are chilly. And what I ended up having to do was I bought, and you've probably seen them, I bought one of those propane heaters,
Hmm.
and it had two heater, heads on it that would face you, and it would be attached to a propane tank, and you turn it on and it keeps you nice and warm. The
Yeah.
problem with it was that it was bulky. You had to lug it around. I put it on a rolling cart so she could roll it, to her seat. But then you're sitting there, and when you're in a stadium seating, it's taking up the aisle that people have to walk by, so they have to go out a different way, to get by. So it was just kind of I mean, it worked and it kept her
Yes.
warm, but it was kind of a hassle because it was bulky and you had to lug it around. Whereas when I think about the Mozy, it's just, I mean, it's essentially like a blanket, but it's something that you could fold up, right? You can carry underneath your arm and
Hmm.
bring it, and it doesn't impact anybody else, and you wrap it around you, and you're good to go. Um, I mean, that's what I think about. So I think it's a good idea as far as that goes.
Well, the beauty of it is you don't need batteries, and
Mhm.
the heat that is it's your body's own warmth, and your body gives off heat, and any breeze or wind just carries that warm boundary layer warmth away from your skin, away from your jeans, and what I realize is that everybody has jackets and boots and gloves and hats, but they're just wearing jeans on the bottom. And that's what this focuses on. And it retains your own body heat very effectively. And that's what I have the patents on it. It eliminates the convective heat loss, which is the main cause for feeling cool when the sun goes down, when the wind picks up.
Mm. And you said that this was created based on your experiences seeing your own mother, freezing at these games.
Yes. No, my mother loved seeing her grandchildren, and she would be there sitting on the sand shivering, and I felt so bad, and I'd bundle her up on blankets, and the blankets just didn't work that well. There are too many gaps where air comes in and wind whistles through, and she also couldn't stand up without and cheer without the blanket falling down, and so I looked at that, and then I looked at my own experience, and I looked at other people in the stands, and people were sitting where they wanted to stand, or they were standing because the aluminum bleachers were too cold to sit on, and that's where I knew I could do make something better, and that's why I developed it.
Yeah, I think I mean, I can just picture in the stand. Now, luckily, when my younger son did play baseball in high school for a couple years, but both my boys, when they were younger, gravitated to basketball.
Hmm.
and played basketball. Even my younger son even played college basketball. He had a college scholarship to play basketball. So all the games and practices were indoors. We wouldn't have to worry about being cold, all that kind of stuff. But I always remember as a coach walking out of the gym, at the high school, I'd be walking out of the gym and I'd be walking across the parking lot to head to my car and see a soccer game going on and it's freezing out. And I see all these parents in the stands and I'm like, yeah, thank God my boys did not play soccer because I would not want to be sitting out there in this freezing air watching my son play or my daughter play. So yeah, I think your idea as far as the product goes is very helpful.
I should note that it's not just for parents. I've also sponsored a couple soccer teams and lacrosse teams, and the idea is when they come to sit on the bench, it's freezing, and when the coach calls them, they have to get out there immediately. And the beauty of the Mozy, it's held together with a Velcro, so you just rip it open and run, and so it's really fast to get on and off, and so it works really well for sitting on the bench, and when they call you, you run. So. Um, Even the students like them.
Hmm. Uh, have you given any thought? Now, I know this is a blanket, but and maybe you have given thought to this, but have you given any thought to like, turning this blanket into pants or a jacket or something along those lines?
Yes, I have a whole product line that all exists off the same patents, which is adjustable convective heat loss. And so what I say by adjustable is that you can open and close this wearable wrap, we call it a wrap, as much as you want. So you get to the game and it's sunny and 75, you might have it open from the waist down, and then as the sun goes down, it drops into the 60s, and then the wind picks up and it gets bitter cold, and that's where you can close it up further and make it tighter, and you're effectively blocking all your convective heat loss. So it's completely adjustable, and so we developed a whole clothing line based on that, and based on that, the patents and that idea.
Okay. How does it work exactly? Because I know you said there's no batteries, you don't have to charge it, all that kind of stuff. How does it actually work?
So the key and the patents are based on retaining your body heat. And your body heat, your skin warms up a thin boundary layer of air close to your skin. And if you're wearing jeans, it is a thin boundary area of warm molecules, air molecules. And when it's windy or there's any kind of airflow, it sucks those molecules away and replaces them with cold ones. And your skin feels that difference, and you get cold and you start shivering. So what it does, it works with different elastics and different materials, basically a fleece type of material on the inside. And
Mhm.
what that does is keep those molecules from flying away. It keeps them close to your skin. And then on the outside is a weatherproof fabric. It's a very heavy duty nylon, and that keeps it not only waterproof, but it also keeps 100% of the wind away. So that there's no way that the outside environment will carry that warm air layer that you've generated around your skin away. So it stays with you. So it works almost immediately. You feel it, and um, it it keeps you, and that's so that basically is the whole idea is retaining your own heat by blocking the convective heat loss.
Hmm. Okay. You know more about that stuff than I do.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, I took a lot of classes in thermodynamics and heat transfer, so I knew all the properties of how heat transfers from the body to the air, and why you get cold. And I knew there were simpler ways to block that than adding batteries or external heaters and things like that. And it's all maintaining your own body heat.
Hmm. Um, with all the inventions that you said you've patented as far as things you've come up with, you said 55 patents, correct?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, what do your kids think about your ideas as far as you constantly maybe you've had them test some of your products and what has been their experiences as far as you doing all these different inventions?
Well, one thing I also enjoy doing is teaching creativity to fourth to sixth graders, and then I also teach an engineering product development to college students in engineering classes, and what I do is teach them how to use their own creative mind to solve problems or to spot problems and solve it. And it's very interesting. So I give them methods and tools to do it, and then I give them instructions how to record it, and then how to make prototypes. And so they love the idea. They love the idea of how I come up with products and how I analyze the market. And I mean, I haven't done many consumer products. Most of my products are surgical, so they wouldn't know about them unless they were a doctor, basically. But the kids love the idea, and they do love the products. But we decided the market was the biggest market were for the older students and parents, and that's where we focused.
Yeah. Um, are your own children, are they inventors or want to kind of go down that line of trying to come up with products like that?
They are because that's how they grew up. You solved problems and then you found better ways to fix things, and so they are. So my son's graduating from mechanical engineering, and he's been doing for summer interns. He's been doing different design jobs, and he's right now he's interested in medical device design, which is what I did. And my daughter is very creative, but she's on the molecular side. So she's a molecular biologist. And so she's coming up with creative ways to cure cancer.
Oh,
And and I appreciate that. And I don't fully understand exactly how that's done, but that's her thing, molecular biology. So the idea is that they use their creative problem solving in what they're doing, and I'd like to say that I put that in their head.
oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I think what they're doing is great. I think your daughter having that kind of desire um, to help people as far as specifically ones with cancer is awesome. Is there a reason why she got into that, or is just something that interests her, or like is there a family history or all that kind of? I mean, why did
Well,
she kind of go down that road?
I didn't. It's just what she tried. I said try a lot of different things, see what clicks. And in her classes, she loved biology and really excelled at it and went into molecular biology and then loved the creative side of things. And so that's why she ended up in California in the working for startups doing biology, doing different therapeutics and things like that for that. And there's a lot of money, and they like creative problem solvers. And so um, how she got into that field exactly, I don't know. But the idea is she tried different things, and she found that what she really loves is biology, and
Hmm.
that's what she's doing.
That's cool. That's cool. I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give dads who see a problem affecting their family but don't yet realize they might be the one equipped to solve it?
Well, my and people come to me all the time. It's like, oh, I have this great idea. I want, da, da, da. And I say, well, what problem is it solving, and what is out there now? So you have to do research. How is it being solved now? and what does your new idea do that the old idea didn't, and the products that are on the market. So the first thing is to do a lot of research, and then you say, okay, this is, and that's what I did with the Mozy. And I said, yeah, there's blankets and there's wraps, but none of them did what I wanted to do, was to really seal things up and make it warm. Uh, and and then after that, I did my own patent searches to see what else is out there, and there are similar things, but none of them address the problem and have the same solution that I have. So, but my first, to anyone that comes to me and says, "Hey, I got this idea, or I found this problem I want to solve," I say, get on the internet and do research. What do they use now? Um, what can I do to solve this problem? I always teach is to look at how they solved similar problems, and so if you're thinking of something that keeps the body warm, I might look at something totally unrelated, like in chemistry, or something, how they keep their experiment warm and things like that. And so you can use ideas from other industries. Um, in medical devices, I send the engineers to the toy store and I said, walk around and look at the mechanisms, all these toys. And so I have several patents on medical devices that were taken directly from toys that are on the market
Hmm.
because someone's figured out a really creative way to solve a problem, um, totally unrelated to medical devices, but it was a toy, and we built off of that.
Hmm. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, when it comes to the Mozy, where can people get it, find it, all that kind of stuff?
Well, we have a website, Get the Mozy, GetTheMozy.com. And so we sell it on the website, and we also sell it through Amazon, um, and which you kind of have to nowadays. And so those are the two places. And I have sold it at local boutiques and some stores, but it does sell well when there's a demonstration, when you can physically try it on and wear it around. But we just didn't get that far. We're still a small company. Um, my order size is fairly small, and the best way to really prove out the product and prove that the price is viable is to do it on the internet and to do an e-commerce thing. And then at that point, once I determined the value to the customer and the cost that it should be, then go out into retail. But I'm not there yet.
Hmm. All right, cool. Charlie, if my listeners want to look you up, learn a little bit more about you, where's the best places for them to do that? Probably the website, as you said.
Yeah, yeah, there's about us on the website, which has a short blurb. And I think that might point me to my LinkedIn page or something like that.
Okay.
But there is a history um, blurb in the website, and then we've done several blogs. You know, how to develop your product, and then why is Mozy better, and how we tested it and basically kept improving it. So it was 41 different improvements before I got to what I thought was a market ready product.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I'll make sure all that stuff is in the show notes, but just wanted to say thank you very much for being on. I appreciate what you're doing and trying to help families, trying to help parents out there kind of improve their life when they're outside watching their kids play sports
Uh-huh.
or doing anything outside for that matter when it's chilly. But thank you very much for being on. It's been great to meet you and looking forward to staying in touch.
Great. No, it's been great talking to you. I appreciate the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, guys, this has been another episode of Dad Up. I want to thank my good friend Charlie Sherts for being on. Listen, if you are interested in what he's got, the Mozy, it's cozy. So make sure you guys go to the website, check it out. You can see there's video on there. You can kind of see how it works, all that kind of stuff. But go there, check it out, and pick it up because as I was just telling him before we started the interview, I was doing stuff outside here in California, and even in California, it was chilly to us. So it is cold. And during the winter time, this would certainly come in handy for you, and it would be a great Christmas gift. So you can always do that as well. But make sure you guys go to the link and check out his website. And if you are not yet subscribed to my show, please make sure you do that so you don't miss any of the awesome guests. Wow, another amazing episode in the books. So much was shared, and I'm truly grateful my guest was able to pour into you to help you elevate your dad game and really dad up. Make sure you bang that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're here, please don't forget to leave me a rating and a review. I always appreciate the feedback. And one last thing, don't forget, your role as a dad is one of the most important roles you have. So if you need a little help or have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on my website at daduptribe.com or at my Instagram page at daduppodcast. Until next time, everyone, dad up.